don't actually promote it. So it promotes boats. My whole alternative motive of this, get my name out there, make money. I want to buy a house, but I want to get my name out there so I can do my artwork.
Yeah, exactly. So
everyone knows my name.
You might as well just embrace this. Do you know what I mean? Like, you come out of and you're strict. Totally embrace it. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad when people talk about it. Be like,
I'm
happy and I'm doing my thing.
Yep.
And so that's one thing I learned from dancing so long. I'm like sick of trying to be like hiding shit and being embarrassed about it. Like, look, if you're gonna hand me a rent check, then you can talk.
Right?
But as long as my bills are due, I'm gonna go do what I have to do.
And I told my mom that I got a job at this place. I'm like,
you did tell her, or you didn't?
I did. I went home. I called her up and and she's like, hey. I'm like,
that's crazy. I wish my mom was alive. I wonder how she'd react if I finally told her one day. Because I told my dad.
Well, she passed away
when I was 23.
23, yeah.
Yeah, which is forever. But I told her I started dancing when I was 20, and I never told her. I told her I was waitressing at a bar named Joe's. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what's that bar's name again? Joe's, Mom. It's called Joe's. And that's all I would ever say to her. She's like, all right. It was pre-internet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, pre-porn, pre-pictures. But I think I would just be like, all right,
What
Mom.
made you go into the dancing?
Well, what happened was I mean, it's a really, really long story, but what finally made me do it was I was waitressing at TGI Fridays, and I was in a really abusive relationship, and this guy, he didn't hit me, but he was very verbally abusive. He basically just made me feel like I was nothing, you know. And so one day I was like, I'm too good for this, and my entire life I had never been abused like that. And I was like, why am I letting myself be abused now?
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I'm going to break up. And the first thing I did was I cut all my hair off. Because he was really, really in love with my hair. He thought that I should have long hair. So the first thing I did was cut in this ugly haircut. I looked like fucking the Brady Bunch lady. What's her name? Carol. From the Brady Bunch. I had like this Brady Bunch, like weird bouffant haircut. It was all straight and weird. They blow dried it. I was like, you like it, honey? And he's like, I'm like, yeah, well. That's all. And then like the next week, I broke up with him. Or a few days later, I broke up with him. And he was like, you're breaking up with me? Because I think he wanted to break up with me, but he didn't know how or something. So I was living in at the time. There was nothing around me. I wasn't at home. My home was down here. And so there was a college, like a block away from the house I was living in. So I ran away to the college. I ran to the college. I went to the counselor and I cried. I was like, look, I'm in a very abusive relationship. All I want to do is just go to school. I don't want to be with that anymore. I want to just start something new.
Yeah.
She helped me find an apartment. She helped me find a room to live in, which I finally moved out of. She helped me find a job, and I was working at CGI. No, she helped me find an apartment, had a car, and had a job. That's what I had. So I was working at TGI Fridays, and I met this girl, and I was like, I really want to move out of this room. I'm going to live in this old lady's house, whatever. This girl's like, I'm renting a room, the room that guy came to, the cancer house. This lady, this was when I first started dancing. This girl worked at TGI Fridays with me. She's like, come with me, I have a room for rent. I'm like, all right, fine. She's like, why don't you dance? I'm like, really? I thought about it, but I never really thought about it. And I was like, the more I thought about it, I was like, let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
And then I went to tell her, I was like, come on, let's go audition someplace. Where should we go? She got scared and didn't want to do it. I was like, what? You're telling me I have to dance? You're telling me I should dance? Because you sucks and you don't want to dance with me? Bitch. So I made her come with me to the audition at this place, like on like a truck stop area. It was like so desolate. I was like, we're going to this place. We walked in, it was the greatest fucking little dive. I was just like working here. It was fabulous. It was fabulous. And that's where I met the manager that I ended up dating for a little while. So that's my story. But at the time, I was getting paid $500 every 2 weeks from a manager who managed my singing career, not to work a regular job, so that I could be available to go and perform at a minute's notice. And that's why I danced. So I was like, well, if I need to go back to Philly, I can do that at a minute's notice. So I was getting like $1,000 a month from this guy, from my lawyer, producer guy who was just giving it to me. I had a contract. He was awesome. And I didn't have to pay any other back or anything.
That's awesome.
So it is just like a huge, long ass
started dancing, but I started dancing because somebody called out here and already brought me here. Because and they're like, here, just fill in. And Mom really liked me. She's like, going to work. And I'm like,
that's how it
oh,
usually
yeah.
happens. People are like, I got a friend.
Yeah.
They'll come. They trust us. You know what I mean?
It's so weird though, because now I think about, I always thought when I was younger, when I was like, I remember 18, and I wanted to go to school, I'm like, I wanted to dance. I was so scared. I was so shy and insecure in my body.
Yeah.
And not until like I was in my mid-20s, I felt secure. Like, I'm like, fuck everything. I don't care
It
anymore.
was really easy for me to take off my clothes the first time, and I don't know why. I was just like, oh, well, I feel free. My boobs are hanging out now.
No, I don't feel so hot.
I loved the attention too. You know, it was awesome.
I
was
like the
very
attention.
Skinny. I was very skinny. I was like not even 100 pounds when I first started. I was the littlest. I looked like a little kid. People did not like that. Some people did. A lot of guys did not. I didn't have no ass. I didn't have nothing. It was awesome. Those were the days. I just remember being in that place and they had like this big party night where they had like a motorcycle there, and I just like sat on the motorcycle and posed. Like the motorcycle's inside the club, so I posed on the motorcycle. And then they had an orgasm contest. And they made me, the manager's like, you have to enter. And I was like, how do I fake an orgasm? So I was like, because I was 20.
Yeah.
I didn't have no orgasms, you know, back then. I was like, oh yeah. They were like, okay, this shit was real long, loud. They were like, okay, time. I'm like, oh yeah. So it was pretty fucking funny. It was embarrassing, but it was funny.
We had the orgasm contest and I get really drunk on a microphone and fuck with people. I go and sit in the lap and just do like do that whole like, you know.
It's funny.
I think I like doing it because I like to fuck with people.
The
in
orgasm?
a fun, no, anything like dancing or anything like. I just like go around and mess with people.
That's not my thing. My thing is I'm definitely an exhibitionist. I like people to look at me. That's the main thing. I like to be looked at. Sometimes I don't like to be looked at when I'm not feeling good, but we all have those days. Do we? Does anyone know what freaking time it is?
We have like 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Basically, I have to like